there are strange things done in the midnight sun by men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge by cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell.
On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail
Talk if you're cold.
to the Parkus Fold.
It stabs like a driven nail.
If our eyes would close, then lashes froze, till sometimes we could not see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow. The dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel to toe. Then he turned to me and,
Cap,
says he,
I'll cash in this trip, I guess.
"What?"
And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request.
Of course. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan,
It's this cursed cold, and it's got right hold, till I'm chilled clean through the bone. Yet, tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear, through foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains.
a pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. I will not fail. So we started on at the streak of dawn. And God, he looked ghastly pale. And he crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home of Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in the land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with the corpse half hid, that I couldn't get rid. Because of a promise given, it was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say,
You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains.
Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load.
The long, long night, by the lone firelight, where the huskies, round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathe the thing! And every day, that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went, where the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, as it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and derelict there lay. It was jammed with ice, but I saw in a trice. It was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and thought a bit, and looked at my frozen chum. Then, here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, Such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, and hot sweat rolled down my cheeks. I don't know why, but a greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, and the stars came out and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll take just a peek inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. There sat Sam, looking cool and calm, in the heart of the furnace roar. He wore a smile you could see a mile, and said,
Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll have hidden the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm.
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee.